Good evening, everybody. I know we're right in the middle of summer vacation, so it's nice to see a full task force contingent as well as the public. For those of you who are new, my name is Laura Stetson. I'm with MIG. We have been retained by the city to lead the task force meetings in the planning process. Also with me is Matthew Gaber from MIG this evening. The last couple of meetings, my colleague Rick Barrett. Thank you. Rick Barrett was here, but he is detained in San Diego this evening working on a port-related assignment. We're going to go ahead and go around the table, again, to introduce ourselves. I know it starts to get a little bit repetitive, but we do have members of the public, and I think it's nice for them to understand who is on the task force, the names, and who they represent. And we also have somebody new to the task force this evening, Shelley Hoff. Shelley, you can raise your hand and wave. We'll get to you representing the State Lands Commission as well. And there will be continued participation by the State Lands Commission, either in the task force meetings and or working very closely with city staff on jurisdictional issues and helping us understand the State Lands Commission's jurisdictional boundaries with regard to this project. From city staff, we have Jill Ekus has been hired by the city, as you know, to manage the project, and Diana, I forgot your last name, I apologize.
Diana Odell.
Diana Odell, also from the city staff. Rich, let's go ahead and go around the table and introduce ourselves real quickly, just who you are and the organization that you represent for the task force purposes.
My name is Rich Ferrari, and I'm representing family property at the end of the Redwood City Creek.
Melissa Hibbert, I'm representing Greenbelt Alliance.
Mike Brown, I represent on behalf of the owners of the property adjacent to the Docktown Marina.
Chris Mann, I'm with Granite Rock and represent our interests around Bloomquist and Seaport.
Yeah, a major property owner for those who don't know.
I'm Amy Buckmaster, and I'm representing the Redwood City Seal County Chamber of Commerce.
Great. Shelley Hoff, State Lands Commission, filling in for Jennifer Lucchese, our Executive Officer.
Jeff Birdwell with the Bear Island Aquatic Center. Dave Holland with San Mateo County.
Orlean Chartain, I'm a Docktown Marina resident.
Mike Giari, Port of Redwood City.
I'm Greg Greenway with the Seaport Industrial Association, and SIA is a group of most of the industrial businesses in the port area of Bloomquist and at the port itself.
Thank you, task force members. Tonight's really a continuation of our meeting from 2 weeks ago where we asked members of the task force to share with us ideas and places that they visited that have really great waterfront environments. And we explored all the way from Holland with Carol Wong, who's going to be here later on this evening, to things which are much more local to Southern California. And Rick Barrett shared with us some ideas from regions that were a little more far afield, and actually had some that showed some development that's probably a little more intense than some folks are thinking about for Redwood City. So we've come back with a couple more examples this evening that Matthew's going to share with you on things that are a little bit lower scale. But we're also going to have presentations from Melissa Hibbert, from Greg Greenway, from Orlean Chartain, and then Rich is going to deviate from PowerPoint. He's got handouts that he's going to share and walk the task force through some research that he's done when they were doing due diligence for the Ferrari property that's part of this planning area. So Rich will go through that with the task force. The materials that Rich has will be posted later on the website. The website still is a little sparse for those members of you of the public who have been anxiously awaiting meeting summaries or other materials. We are slowly getting things posted. We did forward to the task force summaries from the last 2 meetings. These aren't really official minutes, so we don't need to have a vote to approve the minutes. All that we would ask is that if you saw any glaring errors, that you let us know what those are so that we can correct those. We've already had a couple members of the public actually send emails to Jill and say they felt that there were a couple of things that didn't make their way into the summary, and we made sure that they did subsequent to that. So we do appreciate that. If you think that we haven't captured everything on the wall graphic, please come up to me after the meeting to make sure that if we haven't captured your comment, that it's up there. Or if you read the summaries and you see that something was still missing, please forward an email to Jill, because we want to make sure that there is material in there. Now, somebody's going to correct me on the spelling of levy, aren't they, in the minutes?
Yes.
You got that one, Jill?
I did. Carol Wong is coming later, but she gave me a couple comments. Yes, we're not going to put a levy on your property. It's a levy that was coming up. And then she had a comment about marinas. Something came up on the notes about marinas dumping overboard and having to pump out, and she just wanted that clarified in the minutes as to what that meant. And other than that she was fine with it. I didn't need minutes, notes, really just notes.
Mike, you had
I didn't bring a copy of the agenda, did you?
Oh, I-
Yes. We've got, I think that's the only material that we've got. Jill, you have what else to hand out?
We have a few hard copies for task force members of the meeting summary notes in case they didn't have a chance to look at them on their computers.
We are sending everything to the task force electronically, unless you indicate otherwise. We've only had one member asking for something to be sent in printed form. If you do want something in printed form in addition to electronically, please let Jill know so that we can get that to you well in advance of the meetings. So as I indicated tonight, we're going to be continuing the storytelling that we did 2 weeks ago so that we can really get a full view of what the possibilities are. And we wanted to change the meeting structure a little bit tonight because the members of the public said they wish they had had the opportunity to speak at the beginning. Not everybody can stay up as late or have obligations with kids and other things at home. So we've set aside 15 minutes. I'm a little bit behind right now, but I'd like to go till about 7:30 on public comment. We will have additional public comment at the end because we think it's beneficial for you to be able to respond to what you've seen in the presentations and what you've heard. So we're going to be doing public comment both at the beginning and the end. Just for a show of hands, are there folks who want to speak at the beginning of the public comment period before we get underway? Are there people, and you can certainly raise your hand later, who would like to hold their comments off until the end, until they have a chance to see? Okay. Right, very good. Given that, I think we will jump straight into presentations, unless there's any more housekeeping. Jill?
I think we might have one other presentation. Jeff, are you going to present
Oh,
the
thank you.
slides also?
I'd be happy to.
I think we have time.
On the
Yeah,
Boston.
that'd be great.
Yeah, during summer vacations, or maybe it was just for fun, Jeff Birdwell went to the Inner Harbor in Baltimore. I don't know if he caught an Orioles game as part of that, but he did spend some time at the waterfront. Probably looked up at the Domino sugar sign is still up there on the hill, I think. So yes, we will have Jeff doing part 2 of a presentation.